Hey Stitches, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Matthew, also known as Fairy Godfather, and this is my YouTube channel, Fairy Godfather Knits. Welcome or welcome back. This video is the first of my 2025 videos following the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along event. If you're not familiar with it, it happens every year. It's a global event where you knit a mystery shawl designed by Stephen West. He releases the clues once a week and people all over the world participate. This is my 4th year doing it. I am wearing last year's shawl, which was called Go-Go Dynamo. This video is going to be about my color choices and my yarn choices for this year. And it's a few days late because I don't have a clue what I'm going to do. So thank you for spending your time with me today. I'm going to present a few different options of what I think I might do. I would love to get your feedback in the comments below. Let me know which option you think I should go with. Here we go. So, like I say, this is last year's shawl, the Go-Go Dynamo. It was a sort of 2-color shawl, and I added in the 3rd color, the yellow, as a sort of substitute for what's called a mohair dare. Stephen often will put in his patterns a place where you can optionally add mohair, which can be, you know, a similar color or a different color. It's one of the ways to individualize the shawl. So yeah, last year I threw in that yellow. This year the theme is music. It's being called the MusiKAL, which is a funny play on musical. And I would say I'm really enjoying already how sort of like playful and fun Stephen is being with it this year. He's put out a couple videos on his channel, performing Sondheim. In one case, I forget what the other song was, but he's like singing, accompanied by piano. It's amazing and fun. And so, yeah, I'm never sure with the themes, like how inherent they are to the design, or if it's more about how we talk about colors. Like, we're using a lot of words this year around like symphony and harmony and, you know, using musical language to describe the way the colors go together and sort of how the shawl will be, which is really fun. It's kind of like synesthetic. It's kind of like, I like sort of like crossing between the senses like that. And yeah, I'm excited, as I have been every year. Last year was the first year that I was able to actually keep up week per week with the clues and also with vlogging about it. And I really want to do that again this year. I had the greatest time doing it, and you guys following along and commenting and encouraging me as I go. So I'm really excited to do it again this year. The only problem is I don't know what yarn I'm going to use. There are a couple of factors in this. One is my budget, which is 0, probably less than 0. And the other is the information that Stephen's putting out and the kits that are already out. So let's talk about it a bit. He will put out videos with the kits that Stephen and Penelope has curated with their own yarns, their own Westwool yarns, and also with other yarns from other companies that they partner with. Love and the Long Grass, and the whole bunch, like more than I can name. Hedgehog Fibers, King Fibers, all these different ones. And they put together these kits. And the kits are always incredible, like they are this year. But where I'm sort of not seeing the vision, or where I'm like having trouble choosing colors based on what I'm seeing so far, is that there's such a variety. Some of them are gradients of a single color. Some of them will have 3 of one color, like say 3 grays or 3 browns or 3 shades of green, and then a pop color, like a color pop color. So that's sort of like a 3-in-1. But then there are also kits that are just 4 colors, just like 4 seemingly separate. I mean, they match, they go together, but they're just 4 different colors, you know? So that's quite a range. From the previous ones I've done, like this one was a 3-color one, and I just used a kit that was great. Then we had the Geo Gradient, which had gradient right in the name. You needed to have a gradient for that one. And so it was very gradient focused. Mine was blues. And then, like I said, last year was 2 colors, and I added in a third. I'm excited to be back to a 4-color shawl. That's what we had with the Geo Gradient. But it doesn't have to be a gradient this time. It can be a gradient, but it doesn't have to be a gradient. So just to start out with, I'm sort of like, like, I just don't know kind of where to go with that. Okay, so, and that's the starting point we're going into. The next is the budgetary piece. And this has happened to me actually the first year that I did it as well, where I just was like flat broke at the time of year that the MCAL was happening. And it was for this one. And that was why, and then I ended up getting a grant early in October, and I ordered the yarn. And so I started late with this one and was behind everybody by a few weeks. But, you know, caught up, still had a like great enjoyable process. I still love the finished product, but I wasn't able to do it at the same time as everybody else. And that is such a big part of the experience. And I enjoyed that so much last year. Last year, I did not look at spoilers. I did not like go ahead at all. And that was really, really fun. So I haven't been posting as much on my channel for the past year and a bit. Part of why is that I have been just struggling financially, and I haven't had a budget for yarn. And if I'm being honest, I was probably spending too much on yarn before that. So in the past year, I've had to be really committed to knitting from my stash. And it's been a super enjoyable process, and it's brought me a certain kind of awareness and a real satisfaction of working with what I have, and so on. The problem is, I don't have a lot of fingering weight yarn. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, in my stash, it's so much fingering. I don't tend to go that way. I tend to have a lot of DK because I love making sweaters, and the shawl stuff and the sock and shawl yarns that I have, I tend to use a lot. This year's MCAL starts on October 2nd, and I have to pay my rent on the 1st, like I'm sure many of you do, and I just don't have anything left over this year for yarn. So it is going to be a very last-minute decision as to what I do, and I've sort of compiled some options from my stash that I'm thinking about, but I'm not even leaning towards a particular one yet. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think it's going to be a last-minute decision on Thursday. But let me walk you through some of the choices. Here we go. Okay, so choice 1 is bag of scraps. It's scrap yarn that I already have. So this is my bag of fingering weight scrap yarn. You can see in there like little balls from shawls past. Some of these are from the very first winter lights I ever did. Some of these are from the Geo Gradient. I even saw some in here. This is from last year. It's this red-winged blackbird. And so, like, you know, it's a wide variety of colors. This would not be a whole shawl. Like, there's no way this is 400 grams of yarn. But it might be half of one. And it might get me, you know, at least through the first couple clues, say, or whatever. And if I found a very neutral contrast color like white or black, or even a middle gray, then maybe, depending on the design of the shawl, which is a mystery, it might work out. Like, it might work out to have different scraps. Last year, Kelly Menzies used, I believe, one of her advent calendars or a bunch of minis that she had to do different colors in this like wavy triangle section, possibly the whole shawl actually, and it looked incredible. Stephen West ended up featuring it on, I believe, his Instagram or promoting it in another way. So you see people using advents and using scraps, and sometimes it looks really nice. And it would be fun to sort of play with these colors in how I ordered them. So that's an option. Now, I also have this spaghetti mess. This is Love in the Long Grass from the very first Stephen West shawl I ever did. I didn't know about winding skeins, and it got tangled and So it would be hell to try to unravel all of this, but at the same time, it's free yarn, right? So, I mean, it's yarn that I've already paid for. So that's an option. And I also have these 2 cones. Now, this is Holzgarn. So it's not pure wool. It's a wool cotton hybrid. That is not my preference to use in shawls, especially Stephen West shawls. You know, these are kind of luxury items. They're kind of showstoppers. I have used this in shawls in a pinch, and it's fine. It's just a bit of a different texture and a bit of a different weight. It is like fairly thin. If you can see that, I'll put it in front of my face. But I mean, it would technically work and sort of like count as a fingering. So I have these as sort of backups. Like I would prefer not to use them, but like I say, like beggars can't be choosers, and I may have to. And something like this gray might work to unify these colors. Again, depending how it goes. So that is the, what I'm calling bag of scraps, option 1. Option 2, I'm calling neon haze. I do have some neon fingering weight yarn. Now, I was using it for a design project, a sweater I was trying to design. I'm going to talk about that elsewhere. And point is, it's not going very well. So I would have to unravel it, for example. Like this was a piece supposed to be like the back piece to the sweater, and it's like three strands of fingering plus a DK strand. So there's 4 strands of yarn throughout here. So I'd have to pull all this out, but I do have like these little bits left over. That's the same. There's a green. I would have to unravel this as well. I would have to frog this. This was supposed to be the front, like a cabled V. So I would have to frog all of this, but this is the green, and then I would at least have 3 colors. They would all be neon colors. It would be very bright. I don't know what 4th color I would pair with this. Like, would it just be black? Would it be white? Would it be like an electric blue or something? So this is an idea. It would obviously be like a very bright shawl, a very neon shawl. And this is where I get confused because some of the kits are, say, like 3 grays and then a pop of red. Or, you know, it would be like if you had 3 somethings, neon, the neon skein would be the pop color. It would be like the 4th color. If I'm starting out with 3 neon colors, how do you do a color pop for that? Like, what 4th color could I combine with this? So that's throwing me off a bit. Like, again, it would be like a very, very loud shawl at the end. But again, like maybe that's great. Maybe I use only one of the neons in combination with other stuff. Again, I'm not sure, but that's a possible choice. Okay, so that's choice 2. Choice 3, I'm calling wait for a miracle. And what I mean by that is, yes, it is Sunday today. Yes, the MCAL starts on Thursday, and that's only 4 days away. But you never know what could happen in those 4 days. Sometimes viewers are kind enough to donate. You can donate to me at my Ko-Fi. I will put the link in the show notes. I'm not begging, but sometimes people say, hey, Matthew, I'd love to buy you a scale or buy you a skein of yarn or whatever. So if you feel in any way inclined to help me out so that I can get some nice yarns for this year's MCAL, I would happily appreciate that. But I never want to count on that or think that that is definitely going to happen. And then there's just other things in my life. Something as banal, for example, I am trying to sell my microwave. Um, like a new one is coming from my landlady. I have this older one, so I'm gonna try to sell it secondhand. I have a few other things I'm gonna try to sell. I might throw some of my stash up and see if anybody wants to buy that. And if I can get some money by Thursday, I'm not above on Thursday, on the day of the first day of the MCAL, going to my LYS and, you know, picking from what's there, what they have on that day, with however much I've scraped up by that day. That's going to make a difference to the shawl I end up having. So like I say, even if that's just buying one skein to be a fourth color with the neons, maybe if I have enough for two skeins, I'll pick, you know, it'll affect like what choices I make and what I end up deciding on. So, and in like a dream world, maybe I would be able to afford 4 skeins of yarn, and then I would be able to like actually pick colors, again, dependent on the stock that the store had on that day, because I'm going to have to start on that day. So anyway, so that's choice 3. Wait for a miracle and see what happens. Sometimes they do happen, guys. And then option 4, which occurred to me in the middle of the night last night. And that option is, what if I unravel something? Is that crazy? What if I frog a previous project in order to do this year's MCAL? So I started thinking about that, and it's just like, because of the 4 color thing, it's hard. So it would, one choice would be the geogradient, but I've already decided I'm not going to do that. This was a doozy of a year, as we all recall. And this was like a really, really long process. And also there was a lot of cutting of yarn in this. I sort of tried to fight that, but I think there still was quite a bit. And it would be a lot of work to unravel. And I love this. I do love this one, so I don't think I can bring myself to do it. The other choice is this one. This is also a Stephen West shawl. I believe it's called Woven Chevrons. Yeah, Woven Chevrons shawl. And I love it. And look, it's 4 colors. And so, like, this is kind of what I'm thinking when I'm seeing the kits that are just 4 colors, like just 4 different colors that go together. I'm wondering if we might have a somewhat geometric pattern like this in this year's shawl. He did say that the color relationship would become very clear very quickly. I'm excited for that. But I think these 4 colors would work, right? They go together. Like, this shawl looks nice. I love this shawl. I love wearing this shawl. I get compliments on it all the time. But, you know, I've had it a few years now. What if I unraveled this? What if I frog this and use this yarn for this year's MCAL? I can always knit this again, right? Like, these are Artful Bell colors. I know I can get them again. I could always recreate this shawl again. I could knit it again. There's like little mistakes in it that would be erased if I undid the whole thing. But can you imagine? Like, can you imagine frogging this? I can't decide. But it would solve all my problems in that it would give me like 4 skeins of really nice yarn in 4 colors that match, and then I would be all set to start this year. So that's the 4th option. So the options we have are bag of scraps, neon haze, wait for a miracle, or unravel the woven chevrons. Frog and start over. What do you think I should choose? I'm not going to make my choice until Thursday, as I say. So you have a few days to weigh in. So let me know in the comments which option you think I should do. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let me know if you're doing the MCAL, if you've made your color choices yet. And I will see you on Thursday for the next MCAL video. I'm going to show you 2 other Stephen West shells that I've done in previous years. And yeah, maybe I'll reveal what my yarn choices are just before I cast on. And then on Thursday, October 9th, will be my finished Clue 1 video where I show you all my knitting through the week and the finished Clue 1. I'm looking so forward to MCAL this year. As stressful as this is, I'm kind of loving the air of mystery. I'm loving that my MusiKAL will be a improvised jazz piece that is sort of coming together last minute and will be totally unlike anybody else's shawl this year, you know? So thank you for joining me today, and thank you for talking about MCAL choices with me. And so looking forward to seeing you again soon. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time I see you, happy knitting. Take care. Bye.